All right, what's up, good people? It's your boys, Beards of War. We're back. Just came back from seeing it. Deadpool and Wolverine, and I gotta tell you, it was well worth the wait. There's a lot to get into. We're gonna have spoilers. So again, if you haven't seen this movie yet, I'd say come back. If you're one of those people who spoilers don't bother you, stay tuned. But we're gonna spoil some of these scenes for you. It's gonna spoil the movie for you. If you can't enjoy it, I'd say come back. But trust me, it's worth the watch. If you're excited for superhero movies, if you're excited for a Deadpool Wolverine mashup, this is the movie for you. It does not get any better than this.
Hell yeah.
So, before we continue with that, let's get a quick word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, Scorched Earth here. Like he said, man, that movie was amazing. But you want to know what else is amazing? Rone Industries. Those guys got great gear for whether you're an active duty vet or you're just one of us old farts, right? And you still want to kind of feel like you're in the fight, get some great gear, some great swag. You want to go over to Rone Industries, and when you get to the checkout section, make sure that you put in BOW in all caps to get 15% off from our brothers over at Rone. Thanks, Rone.
Thanks, RJ.
Yeah.
Hey, Fat Broken Rambo here, and I'm dressed as my favorite Deadpool 2 character if you haven't put it together yet. I customized it. No big deal.
Right?
This too can be yours for the low price of $6,000 in an Amazon account.
Yes. Autographed.
Autographed.
Yeah, to be
Right.
sure.
We did not get kicked out of the theater.
No, we didn't.
We were not his handlers.
Yes.
We had to explain that a couple of times. But it's fine. I mean, it was a great time. I mean, this man right here just took a bullet for us, man. He went in there and he dressed up, and this is fantastic, man.
Literally
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. I mean, he's got the best Kato outfit I've ever seen. Oh, I mean, not sorry, green. What is it? Green bulb?
Green Lantern.
Green bulb?
Yeah.
Green Lantern? Yeah, not the best of movies. Not compared to this one, though. Oh,
Yeah.
man, this
Yeah.
movie.
Where do we start, man?
Dude,
At the beginning.
there's just too much. That, like, we can't, there's so much to process with this movie. It was amazing top to bottom. I'm going to do something a little unconventional outside of what we normally do. I'm going to tell you guys from the jump, it was a freaking 11. It was a 10. The movie was just incredible. The storyline, I'll be honest with you guys, I couldn't, and nor did I care about the storyline that much. It was just such a freaking good movie. Amazing. The action from start to finish. I mean, the opening scene, guys, right? The opening scene.
Man.
That fight
Dude,
scene, and the flash forward, flash back.
Intros for Deadpool have always been great, but this one took it 3 steps further, right? Because you get the bones, right, from
Oh my gosh.
Logan. And like Deadpool's using them as weapons to kill the agents from the TVA. It was just so freaking creative, and that's of course they're introducing the director and starring and all that stuff. But the music,
The best
the
soundtrack.
music,
Off the chart.
oh come on, like you just can't get any better than that. And that was just the opening sequence. So the opening sequence already had you laughing. It already has you engulfed in all the action sequence and. It was just fun, and that was just the beginning. So it goes into all the the time travel, TVA. I always have trouble with that timeline stuff,
Still have trouble.
but it was still fun. It was a lot of fun, man, and just watching Deadpool and Wolverine try to come together. At first, he's searching for Wolverine because you got to find the right one, right? So that was the whole premise of that.
Yeah, so basically, Paradox, the agent of the TVA, kidnaps Wade Wilson out of his current timeline. And is like, hey, basically, he's like, need you to go on a hunt for the Wolverine in order to save the true timeline or the master. I don't know.
The one that matters to you.
The one where all the good guys are at. We all want to see kick the living hell out of everybody. That's the one we're saving, right? Not the Fox one, clearly. But man, it's great because it kicks off and you get a nice little slew of cameos, different variants of Wolverine. Do we already spoiler alerts?
You did spoil it.
Yeah, he
Again,
said we're gonna spoil it.
Seriously, we're gonna fuck your day over if you're still paying attention at this point. Henry Cavill as Wolverine, man,
As a
fantastic.
Wolverine variant, yes.
Dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he
I
was
mean,
still huge.
yeah, he was massive, right?
Massive.
Dude, he was massive.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the premise of the beginning is him going through these timelines trying to find the Wolverine that will help him and save his world. And so this is where you get the variants. You get the true to comic size miniature Logan.
Dude, oh my
you get
gosh.
the Henry Cavill Diesel Logan. You get the Logan on the X crucifix. It's
short
just
Logan.
all that stuff. You get all of it, man. Logan with the patch over his eye, and
Oh,
it's
dude,
just fun
patch.
watching him go through all those progressions. And he finally gets to the Wolverine that we know from the movie, which happens to have a little bit of a history of his own. And you find out that he failed. This Wolverine was actually, as the agent from the TVA, the head guy, Paradox.
Paradox, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, you actually got the worst Wolverine.
The worst one you can find.
Really? You got this off the used car lot? Like, why would you bring this Wolverine? So that kind of gives you more of a redemption arc in this movie. And man, it's just watching those two go back and forth. Oh man, it was just so much fun, man.
Yeah, it was almost a redemption arc for Deadpool too, because he's at this point in his life where he's kind of stagnant, and his life hasn't turned out the way he wants it to. Him and Vanessa have broken up. He's just kind of like, there's a great scene that takes place in 2018 where he's interviewing for the Avengers, and Happy Hogan makes a cameo. And for a split second there, man, I thought Robert Downey Jr. was gonna pop out, and he didn't. So there you go. Spoiler alert again.
Yeah.
Never mind. I just fucked that up for you. Anyways, you'll forgive me, man. We're all excited. But at the end of the day, Deadpool's kind of down and out a little bit, and he's looking for that reason to kind of put the suit back on, and that's where Paradox finds him at the birthday party that we've all seen in trailers and stuff like that. And then it kicks into high gear, man. It doesn't take a long time doing what we would consider exposition, because it's let's face facts, it's a Deadpool movie,
Right.
and nobody wants that shit. We just want to see sarcastic, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman absolutely slice the fuck out of a ton of people.
Yeah, a lot of zingers,
And
a lot
you
of
get it.
one-liners. Yeah.
Tons of them. Like the interview, I love it when he brought up Team Alpha, and I was like, oh, dude, he's like, yeah, they're all dead. What did he say? Even Cable.
Yeah, X-Force.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh.
He's like, yeah, and like, weren't you a chauffeur? Like, he kind of like just call a happy hour with
like,
positions and stuff. So yeah, that was
his driver
interaction.
for a while.
kidding,
He's
you're
a
not
chauffeur.
You're going for up here. We just need you down here.
Right? Yeah. So that was
Find
fun.
your place.
Yeah. So then we go back,
Dude.
and now so like I said, he's back at the TVA. He gets put into the void, right? And that's where him and the Wolverine that he settled on. They go into the void. The settle, right? The one he settled for.
The Dollar General Wolverine.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, this is what I got, man. Look, this I got to roll with this, man. And they make the little Honda Odyssey jokes, and that comes into play later. But so now you got Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, and you got Ron Reynolds, Deadpool, and they're in the void, and then they come across a familiar face from Marvel, and everyone's like, "Oh man, is it him? Is it the first Avenger?"
You know the voice as soon as you hear it, man.
Yeah, and it's like, oh
can't
man.
get
So
that
we're
out of
sitting
my
there, we're
head,
hyped up, man, and you see it, man. He does a superhero landing. We're like, oh, it's a superhero landing, and boom, take the hood off. Freaking Chris Evans, right? So we're thinking, same way Deadpool's thinking, oh man, it's Captain America, right?
He's gonna say it.
So he's gonna say it. He's gonna say the line. He goes, Avengers, and he's like, flame on! Johnny Storm. And that was just hilarious because it was like so freaking like spot on. Everybody got it. It wasn't like one of those, I don't get it. You got it, because everyone knows Chris Evans played Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four before he became the first Avenger in the Marvel Universe. And it was just hilarious. From there, we knew, okay, we're in for a wild ride where you can't anticipate anything. Like, it was just going to be completely off the rip, and that was just the funniest part of the whole thing, is just not knowing what to expect.
I personally love the scene where Pyro and the crew from Cassandra Nova's like little convoy show up to Sabretooth and Toad, yeah. And then it was going to be, he's like, oh, he's going to roast him. And then Pyro just takes that flame right out of him, and he just falls to earth, and he's like, oh, man, that was probably easier than he thought it was.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna further ruin this for you guys, man. So for all you Wolverine fans out there, like myself, for years, feels like decades upon decades, we've been wanting to see Sabretooth get destroyed. And this does not disappoint. Other than he probably could have just went full crazy and ripped him apart, right? Oh my God! It was over before it was over. It was kind of like the Dune fight. They're like, yeah, you guys kind of ran each other, clash, and then Sabretooth is bleeding through his beard, and of course Deadpool's got one of a million quips that he always has, and just kind of like, oh, what's the quote that he had?
He's like, He's like, we've killed Furiosa, your queen.
Oh yeah, they cut the head off. He's like, yeah, and she did it, pointing at Wolverine. You don't want to make her upset.
Yeah, dude, the fight lasted longer on the trailer. Okay, like I'm not even kidding. The saber-tooth Wolverine fight lasted longer on the trailer. It was literally over that quick. But like you said, that quit by Deadpool just kind of made the whole scene. So you can forgive it wasn't a drawn-out fight that you were probably waiting for.
I was glad,
but it was still. Oh yeah,
I couldn't handle his eyebrows.
Oh gosh, man!
Lord, you got fingernails that are like 9 inches long, dude. You can trim them fuckers up yourself, man.
When
I
saw him
it's acceptable.
with the eyebrow, all I thought of was like, "You shall not pass."
Randolph.
I'm like, what are we watching?
Yeah.
But so just prior to that, the fight between him and Deadpool was rock
fantastic.
solid. That went on
There's
for a good couple of
them.
minutes.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a one and done Deadpool Wolverine fight. No, there's a couple.
I think the end sequence coming up is really
Oh
good too.
man, that fight sequence was crazy. I'm talking about it's bloody and it's it's a lot of action, a lot of movement, but it was just like I said, just a lot of fun to watch, man. Yeah, that scene was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so they end up breaking out of Cassandra Nova's joint, with the help of a rocket foot off of, I don't think it was a Sentinel because it was too small.
Nah,
It was
definitely
off
too
of
small.
something. Anyway, so they fly off and they figure out that there's some borderlands they're going to get to, this resistance force that's battling against Cassandra Nova. And then we come across the first Deadpool variant, which is Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
You beautiful human specimen, you. And basically he's like Gorgeous Pool or some shit like that. And he's got the dog and of course
Nice pool.
Nice Pool?
Yeah, right. He had an early '80s Steven Seagal like ponytail going on.
Oh, and Golden Desert Eagles. Gorgeous, right?
God, those things.
The most impractical handgun on the planet. But hey, man, whatever. It looks good in films.
Right.
And he's got the dog, and everybody loves the dog. Dog Pool is absolutely adorable. Who doesn't love the ugliest dog on the planet? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
but it's an absolute gem of a scene, man. Like, cause what do you call himself? Prime
Prime
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
So Prime Deadpool's got a case the ass that this guy's got all the talent and the looks, and he just wants to kill him because he's got the dog. So,
Yeah. He wants the dog.
But he doesn't regenerate.
We'll find that out later. All the powers of a Deadpool. That's the one you want.
He's like, regenerate?
Like,
that sequence is amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, because then what is he offers him a ride, and he's got like a Honda Odyssey in the middle of a fucking cornfield,
Right. Yeah.
and then they go driving.
Oh, and then that's the second fight scene between Wolverine and Deadpool. And I'm telling you, like they went from like morning to evening. Like that fight lasted inside the Odyssey. Like they did not get outside the fight. They fought inside that Honda Odyssey for at least 12 hours.
No, I think it went to the next day because when they scooped him up, when he was wrapped up in seatbelts and Wolverine was passed out, they drove off. It was daytime.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They destroyed that Honda Odyssey.
Oh, but the most important part of that, who was the one who scooped them up? Who do we? This is the big spoiler. If you're not up for cameos, I'm gonna tell you right now, just mute us right quick. But we find out who the Resistance is. Who's the first one to come on scene? Elektra. That's right.
Yeah.
Jennifer Garner.
Elektra shows up. I'm like, what? No way. She looks fantastic, man. Like, I mean, this is not a CGI Jennifer Garner. Like, she looked fantastic. It was great. And then after that, who steps in?
Oh, dude.
The
One and only.
one and only. There will always be one.
Bet on black.
Blade. Wesley Snipes. Yes.
Passenger 57.
Snipes. And I'm telling you, man, I geeked out. Because, I mean, the MCU, in my opinion, started with him. It started with Blade. So I'm going to say that, for me, was like the pinnacle of this movie. And if I had known, I'd have had a sword on my back and I'd have showed up in the movie theater with a long leather trench coat and some sunglasses. I'm not kidding you. That did for me. And then we still got another one. We got another one showing up.
Gambit. Oh, my God.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yes.
So I guess there's some history there that I didn't know that Grant knows very well. I will say, a little big for Gambit, but, I didn't care. This movie was too awesome to care. I think he did a very good accent.
Yeah.
And,
accent was over the top.
the powers, the charging up the cards, the staff, all that
The staff was great.
Oh, yeah.
went really, really well.
Yes, costume accurate.
Which
I love. Yeah.
The costume was
very accurate.
spot on,
include
right?
his,
Very accurate.
what is it, like a head neck sleeve thing that he kind of wears? Like that leather,
Yeah.
that-
With the hair off the top.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I gotta say, man, like, it was touching to see this sequence because when like they're all trying to like motivate each other to kind of get in the fight and take this as a resistance force against Cassandra Nova, like all they wanted was their ending. They weren't worried because their worlds had already been destroyed. Hint, Disney bought Fox. But like the sequence is great, man. Like there's a lot of heart to this movie, man.
Yeah.
So like when Deadpool talks about losing his universe and stuff like that, there's real heart. And if you guys have seen the newest trailer, it's in there, man. But this sequence was great because those heroes just want their ending. Or as Gambit says, he's like, I never got anything, so everyone wanted it. But
He beat that to
the
death.
background on that is that basically Channing Tatum had petitioned Marvel for years to be Gambit. And when X-Men Origins Wolverine was released, Taylor Kitsch got cast as Gambit because Channing Tatum wasn't available due to a scheduling conflict. And he's been partitioning for this role for a long time, man. So he probably won't continue on, which kind of sucks. I'd love to see him come back. But man,
Yeah, he got to live out that
Blade.
dream.
Wesley Snipes got to say his fucking line again, man. And it was, I tell you what, do yourselves a favor. Go see this in a movie theater because
Yes.
our audience broke out into a clap when we saw Wesley Snipes, man.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were pumped.
You need that energy.
Yes, and because it contributes to the overall experience of going to movies, man. And I can't.
100%.
Streaming does not fucking do it justice.
Right.
Yeah, I can't.
I
I just
agree.
can't.
Go see it in a theater with an audience, man. And now this weekend is the time to do it because the energy is there and the fans are there, and some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Yeah.
I will tell you.
man.
So,
I
Channing Tatum. God, his name sucks to say.
No, it's
Nothing against him, but dang, I suck at saying it. But I will tell. He lived up all of Gambit's. Like Gambit's got some serious PTSD issues because of him being kind of essentially like a sidekick almost, right? Throughout the comics, throughout the cartoons or whatever, he was just kind of like, who is that guy again? Kind of like Superman treats Batman, right, on some of these comedy skits. And he was living it, like every other word. Somebody would say something, he's like, yeah, like my dad didn't care about me. They're like, yeah, like this. It was hilarious. I won't get into all of the stuff that he said, but I'll tell you, it's worth watching because it was insanely funny. And he just kept coming with them and kept coming with them. But nothing really, I mean, for that whole scene, nothing beat Wesley Snipes walking in. Like, we can't say that enough. It was just amazing to see him. And this
It
little
looks good, too.
team mashup.
It looks great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This team mashup for me was kind of like an X-Men's version of the Expendables. Because you got all these old characters that are like, yeah, will anybody want us anymore? Will they care anymore? Whatever. And they come in
care.
like the Expendables / the A-Team and start wrecking shop like you would not believe. Like something out of the X-Men cartoon.
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
We still care, man, and not to leave her out. X-23.
Laura.
Oh, yeah.
X-23 shows up, and she's grown into a beautiful young woman, man. But you remember her from Logan, and she's basically like the leader of the team, believe it or not. Like they're kind of like kind of going at her. Like she's the one that convinces Wolverine to get into the fight because he's like, this isn't my fight. So she kind of convinces him, and now they're driving a Honda Odyssey back to get to the main villain.
Oh.
And then they give the freaking missile launcher to Blade, and they're like, where'd you get all that from the Punisher? Right? So he's just like using Punisher.
Which Punisher?
Man, we were waiting for that one. Like, come on, man, bring us Thomas Jane, man. This is
Thomas
completed.
Jane, great.
To take it all the way back. I would have taken the Dolph Lundgren Punisher at that point. I'm not even kidding.
I would've.
Like, give me something. But we got that little throwback. Shout out to Punisher, and they're rolling up in the Honda Odyssey, and then they all get out the van, with the rap music playing in the background. And who gets out the trunk? Wolverine.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm here too.
On cue.
And man, it was just, the fight scenes are just completely glorious. They're gory, they're bloody, and it's just so much fun to watch. Like I said, if you're a comic book, cartoon, superhero aficionado, you love that, you're going to love this movie. That's all I can say. If you go in there looking for some deep mental thing, it's not going to happen. This is not what that is.
Yeah, this
is
ain't
for the
Oppenheimer.
fans. They did this one for the fans.
Dude, and what they had T.I. and Jay-Z bring him out playing,
yeah.
and he comes out of the trunk in slow motion, and his
Oh,
foot hits the
slow-mo.
ground right as the bass drops, and and he was definitely dominating that scene. And I can only imagine from like the villain side when they saw him get out of the trunk, they're like, "Oh,
this
dude, why did I clock in today?
Right.
This is bull."
Yeah,
I
this
should not have come to
$15 an hour
work.
ain't cutting it.
Yeah,
I
you know,
don't
this is not a
anybody-
livable wage. Not a livable wage.
Nope, I'm going to work at Starbucks.
I will say, before we get too far ahead, man, we missed out on that great line, though, that Wesley Snipes had, because everything he says in this movie, he just oozes badass and confidence.
Yeah.
So before he fires off the rocket, the AT-4 at Giant Man or Ant-Man extra large,
Yeah.
his hands to basically break into the barricade.
And Man of Grayskull.
And they're like, you know, the Punisher had one of these AT-4s sitting around. They're like, which one? And he's like, there's 5. And he's like, there's only one blade. And he fucking shoots at it. And that drove the audience nuts, to include the 3 of us, man,
Yeah.
because there is only one motherfucking blade.
Yeah. Marshall Ali, nothing against you, brother.
Yeah, man.
I hope this next Blade movie ever gets made. I hope you kill it.
You're not going to
But
hold the candle.
understand.
Sorry, not
Just
to Wesley.
Understand, you're going to be Blade 2.
That's
You're Blade
Passenger
Junior.
57.
You are Nightwing to our Batman. Like there's just no way around it. And I love you, like 2-time Academy Award winner.
Yep.
2 times. You still gonna be Blade 2. So get used to that too, because it's just one Wesley. And Wesley, like I said, even now with all that swagger, just came back and just, I mean, right where he left off, just Blade.
Nobody fucks with Simon Phoenix, baby.
Yeah. So then they get into the major fight, and now, you know, you got Deadpool and Wolverine going after, what's her name?
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra Nova. I call her Casanova. But Cassandra Nova, right?
Good. Thanks.
Right? Yeah.
That works.
That
You know?
works, yeah.
That works.
You know, so
The singer.
and then they have to get Juggernaut's helmet to block her mental power, because she literally will skull fuck you. Like, she puts her fingers
Oh, it's so
in
disgusting.
your brain, like through your face, and it's just like the most disturbing thing ever. But they, in order to beat her, they work it out. They get Juggernaut's helmet due to X-23 basically cutting the Achilles out of Juggernaut.
dude.
And I'm like, I didn't know that was possible. But you know, it is what it is, depending on what comic you read. But they get the helmet, they get it on her, and then Pyro out of nowhere tries to assassinate her. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what? Pyro just coming out with the you know, in the middle of the fight, and they basically have a situation where they have to convince her not to kill them so they can take the helmet off so they can get back. So it was like one of those, okay, which way do we go with this?
Yeah.
Because she could literally just kill us at the moment, and they work it out.
Yeah, she was on the cusp of it, but then she really saw how much X actually loved Wolverine
Yeah.
and his emotion. Yeah.
Charles, yeah.
Yeah, Charles X. I'm Professor X.
You
and
know,
yeah.
We gave
it's
him
only
specific
one.
because then we got X-23. And
Yeah,
Weapon
that's
X,
very
yeah.
true.
It's all kinds of convoluted.
Professor X.
But then, then she was like, okay, yeah, no problem. You know, a while back, this funny little magician showed up down here, and I wore his face for about a week, and he had this nice little, this weird little ring.
From Doctor Strange.
And next thing you know, she opens up a Doctor Strange portal, and he's like, Marvel's sparkly circle. And they, just in the nick of time, jump through that, get back, and dude, how many? At least 100 Deadpools.
Deadpool variants.
Good gosh.
So, curious, though, about that sling ring, right?
Sling ring. Yeah.
Sling ring. So, did it look like it had 2 Infinity Stones on the sides?
It did. It looked
Yeah.
like it had
Yeah.
some kind of jewels on it.
Huh.
I know one of the
They-
big ones
yeah.
usually the Time Stone.
Yeah, it looked like it was
Red
two.
is the Soul Stone, right?
Right. No.
Yeah, it's the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
They have to go and get Red Skull, and he's got the stone. And
I thought the Soul Stone was orange.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, man.
Which stone is
we're
which.
floundering here, man.
Yeah,
Help us out.
Rhinestone, yeah.
But it did have 2, rhinestones. It had 2 rhinestones in it, and she opened that up and
Cowboy.
Okay.
Yo.
Yep.
riding
I've
off
been
of my.
drinking. So,
We're dating ourselves
so
here, right?
Wait. So beautiful Deadpool shows up here, right? And he says, "Oh, I can do that fourth wall break thing too, right?" Except the camera's just like the proposal, and it was just like, okay, I've seen that movie. The Proposal is actually a very good movie. If you guys haven't seen it with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, it's a funny movie starring the late great Betty White. So if you want to go watch a good comedy, check out The Proposal. But yeah, the dog shows up. Dogpool shows up, and Deadpool's all happy to see him. And then we get into the fight. The fight. I'm going to call this one the fight.
It's actually probably the best fight in the movie, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, Elias, that purple garbage disposal that's on the Void, pretty much swallows up Ant-Man, and we don't really know what happens to everybody back at Cassandra Nova's place, but our heroes have jumped through the portal, and they're not alone, man, because Pyro comes right back with another sling ring, or Marvel sparkly circle.
Right.
And yeah, Cassandra Nova's got her fingers all up in his gourd, and
Snapped his neck.
man.
Yeah.
And then the Deadpool Corps shows up.
Man, I'm talking about all
Oh, yeah.
type, man. I think they had Mexican Deadpool, they had Samurai Deadpool,
They had a
Western
Warlock
Deadpool.
one.
Oh man, they were from all.
They had this
walks of
guy.
life. Yeah, exactly. Floating head Deadpool.
Flying around with his little helicopter. Yeah, dude, they had everything. Baby Deadpool, you name it. I'd never seen so many Deadpools.
Yeah.
And, you know, Casanova? Yeah, Casanova made sure that she brought them to basically keep Wolverine and Deadpool Prime from coming down and stopping her from getting a hold of this, what is it, Time Ripper or...
Time Ripper device. that
yeah,
Paradox
Time
is
Ripper
creating.
device.
Time Ripper device, yeah.
And of course they're all on Team Her, you know, to stop him. And then that fight, man, was just insane.
But the fact that he uses beautiful Deadpool as his bullet sponge
Oh, dude.
was hilarious, right? So he's like, you're not
Survive.
gonna die. I mean, this guy just getting glad. He's like, use your legs. I can't. I'm paralyzed.
So say it with me. Say it
I'm gonna
with me.
survive this. I'm
gonna
gonna survive
survive.
this. But the funniest part of that is Wolverine grabs the dog and he's just walking calmly. No one's gonna take a shot at the dog. Like, it's just not gonna happen. And they're just standing there like, oh, and they just watch him quietly walk over, not getting shot at one time. And then they okay, we gotta go do this, right?
they're like, yeah, let's
Come around the
dance.
corner, you get the slow mo, you get the music,
Madonna.
Like a Prayer from Madonna, and I'm talking about, man, Wolverine does it.
Oh, the mask.
Pulls down the cowl and oh man,
The mask.
this is only for comic book people. Like if all you know are X-Men movies and Marvel, you don't know why we're so excited about this right here. That Wolverine is the one that showed up. The one with the famous cowl, probably as famous as Batman's. I was like,
Except
yeah,
he can move his neck.
He can move his
Yeah,
neck.
yeah, right,
He
yeah.
can move his neck.
you know, so it's more functional, like Rone Industries.
Oh,
So-
shout out Rome.
Like that. You get another one.
Yeah, so I mean that in of itself was amazing. Then they're just going to town, ripping through all these Deadpools, man, and it was just a glorious, blood-filled CGI slash like fight with blades and claws, and I mean I'm talking about like Wolverine's going ham, like he's literally just going berserker rage. You
Yeah,
know?
he was. I think he was almost to that level. I mean, I've seen, you know, any of you guys who've read the comics and stuff. Like when he goes full berserker, it's insane. But it was right there. It was insane. They were fighting. I mean, they were fighting on a cab. Then he fights all of them onto a bus, and they're all in the bus trying to run to the back of the bus to get out. He pulls one out of the emergency exit in the top because he's trying to. That was the cowboy one,
Cowboy,
right?
yeah.
He pulls him down, and he got broke back mountained. And then, dude, it was just insane. And then they had an epic scene, slow mo, where they both bust out the back of the bus. Wolverine classic with the claws out in the face, and Deadpool, and then of course, yeah, like he's in a I don't know Looney Tunes. He just like falls straight down to the ground. Just completely ruined that for him.
Oh,
He has
But
a
yeah.
fourth wall break. He's like, no one's gonna remember the fight. Everyone's gonna remember the piss poor landing or something like that.
right.
He did not stick that landing,
Oh,
but it
man.
didn't matter. Again, man, it was just insane fighting. And then what's his name?
Well, because all the Deadpool come back to life, and he's like,
Right.
oh man, everybody's got the ability to reanimate except for the good-looking Deadpool.
Right.
Yeah,
And all of a
oh,
sudden-
dude, that poor guy, man.
And all of a sudden, Peter shows up.
Peter, that's it.
In Deadpool's actual costume, riding a bike with a helmet on top of his mask.
Yeah.
And they all surrender. And
They're like,
no,
"It's
no,
Peter."
we don't hurt Peter.
We all have a Peter.
Yeah.
We all love Peter in that universe.
Peter.
So Peter was the savior in this movie.
Yeah, Peter's the most famous superhero there is.
Right.
Everybody's got a Peter. And then they're like, yeah, Peter. And yeah, they walk off to go downstairs to, again, smoke check Casanova.
Yeah, yep. So again, so after that, now we're over at the TVA, right? And they realize they have to stop Casanova. And they, this is where you get the heartfelt, well, I don't have a world to go back to. It should be me, that kind of Armageddon, Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck scene. Oh no, at the last minute, you try to take him
I
out.
love you, Harry.
Right? So now you got Deadpool in there trying to do it by himself, but he can't reach the other side, and Wolverine's trying to bust through the door. And finally, you just see him grab his hand, and it's like, oh man, they're both in there, and they're both doing it together. And then what happens?
His shirt bursts off.
Yeah.
Wolverine's shirt busts open,
And the abs.
Deadpool's just like looking at his body like, damn.
He's looking at the abs. He's kind of like stuck in the other thing and looking down at his abs. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, brings up a funny point about that. Like his shirt completely blows off, and I know why they did it.
Right, yeah.
But Deadpool's uniform, like his whole outfit was still 100%. Like he wasn't
Nothing to see
getting
there.
any of that.
Yeah, nothing to see there.
That's a good TVA suit.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, shout out to Hugh Jackman and his trainer. Dude, like, call me.
I hate
got
you.
Time.
I hate you as a
I
44-year-old
have
man.
time and I have.
Because there's no way I can compete with that.
Yeah, dude. No. Well, yeah, man. I mean, that was a lot of fun. They survived. You know, we're at the paradox of telling them, oh man, there's no way you can survive that, and you guys are gonna die, and they just kind of walk out like nothing's wrong. Like, yeah, we were fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it was like, if one of you go down there, you will be completely atomized. And he was like, oh yeah, we survived because it was two of us. When you put a Wolverine and a Deadpool together, yeah, and they survived. They came out of it, yeah, and the magic happened, and then it kind of rolled into, them asking for some help from the TVA leadership on like, hey, can you save his timeline or bring it back? And they're like, you know what? His timeline and how everything screwed up for him being the worst Wolverine ever actually made him the guy that he is now to do what he did now. So I like that bit.
Right,
that was perfect. And he was like, yeah, there's nothing to fix.
There's nothing to fix, yeah. That was
But they did get some of their friends back, although I wish they had brought back a few more, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because they do bring. So basically, they make the deal with the TVA to be like, "Hey, can you go and help our friends out of the void?" And they bring back Weapon. Jesus Christ, Laura. Weapon
X-23.
X-23. Weapon X-23. So yeah, they bring her back, and she's at the celebratory dinner where they're all sitting around kind of joking and they're celebrating their victory, and it's great too because man, Ryan Reynolds with his fourth wall breaks as Deadpool are just phenomenal. Earlier in the movie, he basically he's like, we convinced Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine, and Marvel's going to make him play it for the next 90 years, and or until he's like 90. And then at the end of the movie, where they're talking to the TVA about cleaning up the whole mess, he whispers, he's like, 90 years. It's absolutely fantastic. And you know what, man, Hugh, keep making them, man.
Yeah,
you and Ryan have got gold on your hands, man.
We're
And
not
the
tired of
fans absolutely love you guys, and we're 3 fans, man. So
Dude,
keep them coming, baby.
Yes.
you got to say best. I think the best selection that ever could have been made in the history of man to be Wolverine was Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
Incredible actor without being Wolverine. And then you add on top of that he's Wolverine. You can't beat that. You just can't beat that mix. I think he's going to be the best. I don't care how many people do it after. He's going to be the best Wolverine that's ever done it on the silver screen for me. Just because, I don't know, maybe I'm a little biased. But I think he's true to form with Wolverine, the character, how he brings it out. He makes me feel like, hey, that's the guy that they wrote the comics for, and not the other way around. It's just fantastic, and Deadpool was insane. Yeah, dude.
For over 20 years, this man has been a superhero.
I think he's Benjamin Button. He's like going backwards, getting younger or something. I don't know.
Right? And after credit scenes, I mean, they're taking us back to 2000.
Oh man.
And I'm like, wow, this dude, like, he was, a young, like, you forget how young he was. And it's like, wow, dude, like, just thank you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for dedicating it to your, to your craft, and Ryan Reynolds for, like, going back and getting that and realizing what that was, for bringing back the Blade and for bringing back Elektra, and, like, that takes, like knowledge of your fan base. That's not just, okay, can we get some, big time, superheroes in here? Sure. But is it going to hit home the way we want it to? No. Because you got to get those characters that started it. You know what I mean? Like, you go back, like, you even went back to Johnny Storm, Chris Evans, right? Like, that's intentional. You know what I'm saying? I think that was just the part that really hit home for me. It was like, okay, dude, you brought Blade out. I'm good. Like, I don't even care where else we go with this. But it was just, like, and this wasn't like a big cameo. Like, they were in the fight.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, this was like
this
well
is not a
done.
walkthrough.
And it was just, man, you watching them still kick ass. No one had this, they killed them. No, like, no, man, they fought and they redeemed themselves. That's what
they had a
for,
phenomenal fight scene. All those drops from years and years ago, from Van Wilder to that little, before the after credits, but during the credits, when they went back to when Hugh Jackman looked like he was 17 and all
Patrick
Professor
Stewart,
X.
They put him up there, and I mean Magneto. I mean everything that led up to where we are now, and it was just fun to watch. It was nostalgic to watch, and then you get the end credit scene, where you got Deadpool.
The camera.
So it's like you always know he's gonna do something, right? Like, okay, dude, you get to do access to timelines. This is gonna be a problem. But yeah, man.
Dude, he looked up at the camera like, yeah, please go on, tell me more. And he said verbatim what he said. He was like, yeah, so I got you guys. Everybody thought that I was really the one that made that up. And no kidding.
Yeah.
He did it.
And I mean, he was going in on Casanova, man. Like, so Chris Evans, Johnny Storm. So that's pretty much what we're discussing here. Because when Casanova kills Johnny Storm earlier, he's saying, Deadpool was telling her all these nasty things he was saying. He was like, I never said anything. Like, I don't even know what these words are. So at the end, during that scene, they show him going Dennis Leary style off on Casanova, and they got it all on camera. It's like, I told you. And it was just a great ending to a great movie. And I just got to see more, man. Like, this can't get old for me. Just the action, the banner, the quips. It's just fun. It's just fun to literally go in there, turn your mind off, and just enjoy what you're watching.
Yeah.
And if you're, like I said, if you're into comic books, if you're into like superhero movies, go see it. I mean, if you're into like Oppenheimer, yeah, you may not like this. I'll be honest. Like, if you just don't, if you want something, well, no, I need to understand why they're doing it. Well, no, like we get it. Redemption.
Yeah, it's a different thing for sure.
Done. That's all I need. I don't need anything extra.
Yeah, I'm still confused as fuck as the entire time travel shit with the TVA and everything, but it didn't matter because I absolutely love this movie. I plan on going back to the theater to see it again.
Oh,
I just thought it was fantastic, man. I was a little bummed that Loki wasn't in it. Like, I thought he was going to do a quick cameo because, he is kind of like keeping time together, but I don't pretend to understand half that storyline, so it doesn't even matter. Got to see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds kick the living shit out of everybody for 2 glorious bloody hours. Including each other.
Yeah,
Which is probably one of the
multiple
better fight
times.
scenes. Yeah.
Right.
And man, shout out to Wesley Snipes. Oh, it was so good to see him back.
Yep, that's why you always bet on black. Yeah, hey man,
We're still trying
phenomenal.
to skate
Oh, such a great line.
See
Such a
that
great
line?
line.
That's the only line like I care about. Oh, some motherfuckers always on ice skate uphill.
I'll tell you, like there's only 2 things, and I said this right as we were walking out. There's only 2 things that I can think of that were better than this movie, and that was, and they definitely don't exist. Well, not yet. So one, me being in the movie. So if you guys are thinking about making another one,
War movie that's coming out,
walking through that. And 2, this one's more. Actually, this one will happen. Is me seeing it again. It's just phenomenal. Like, I'm gonna watch it again and again. And again, I might buy it, when it's out for for purchase. Best movie, I would say I've seen in the past 5-10 years, easy. I just can't. There might be one out there, but I can't think of it, dude. This was phenomenal for me. For me, it was a 10. Like I said, dude, it was great. I didn't even have to shut my mind off, and I didn't nitpick like I normally do. I was just happy to see this. Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Blade, which was a surprise. Like, all of that stuff and more combined, and nothing but action and comedy. It was insane. It was too much for me to even, comprehend. I can't remember all of it because it was so damn good.
Yeah, there's a lot to that movie, man.
Yeah.
A lot of things that we could keep talking about. Go out and see it.
And I will say this for the hearing impaired like myself.
Huh?
I'm gonna wait for it to come out in stream so I can close caption it. I know I missed a lot of these one-line zingers from Ryan Reynolds, and I can't read the book because he got a mask on. But I'm gonna watch it again in the theater. I'm gonna move up a little closer, maybe 2-3 rows. Maybe I get more surround sound. I don't know, but even still, man, it was just so much fun. Like I said, if you want to go to the movie, just have a good time and enjoy yourself, man. This is the movie. If you disagree, if you went and saw it and you didn't really like it, let us know. I mean, every opinion matters, and I think we're gonna agree with you.
I think it's a must see.
We're not going to agree with you.
I think it's a must see either way. Even if you don't like whatever, you should go see this. Just to bash it, if that's what it is. But I'll fathom a guess that if you don't like these types of movies, you're gonna want to see it just to get a taste of, to be honest, like how great it really was. Right, wrong, or indifferent. But again, if you're gonna bash it, great, bash it. I don't think you will. Even haters probably gonna like this movie, man. bare minimum. You'll probably give it at least a 7.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have some folks out there that are like, the storyline didn't make a lot of sense. No fucking shit, man. We're not here for the actual story. We don't care. We want to see Wolverine and Deadpool just murder a bunch of people with some really dark, sarcastic humor.
Yeah.
And we got that absolutely time and time again. It was phenomenal. I can't wait to go see it again. I absolutely can.
Yep.
And from my heart of hearts, I'd like to say thanks to Hugh Jackman and especially to Ryan Reynolds, man, because we wouldn't be here doing Deadpool and Wolverine if it wasn't for a certain individual leaking that footage, the concept footage, onto YouTube many years ago and getting it greenlit. It's okay. Your secret is safe with us. Massive shout out. You never quit. You always kept fighting. Thank you for bringing us an absolutely phenomenal movie, and thanks for bringing back Wolverine. And hey, Kevin Feige, if you're listening to this, stop making shit movies and stick with Ryan Reynolds, all right?
Listen to Marvel Jesus.
That's right, baby.
Can't go wrong. So, I mean, I know this is redundant, guys. Do you want to take the time to rank this movie?
It's. I mean, in my mind, it's what was in first. What's in first place?
Aliens, I think is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what? It's
See,
God.
always the classics.
You know what? I'm going to say
so
neck and neck for me with those because that movie, I got a lot of bias for Aliens. But, dude, it's up there. It's got to be running pretty much a tie for first place for me. Mm-hmm. It's a tie.
So
I don't know how to split those hairs. I have to see it 3 more times so I can tell you.
Oh, you giving it a 10?
Oh, I gave it a 10. I gave it an 11 at the beginning.
There you go.
A fucking 10. That's Varsity Blues for all of you who didn't get the reference.
5
All right,
by 5.
I'm going to give it a 20 minus 10, which equals a 10. This was definitely, like I said, a lot of fun, man. That's a 10 from me. And I don't give those out willy-nilly, so yeah.
I still think Cocaine Bear is the superior film, but hey, man, I'm here for the fight. I'm just kidding. I absolutely loved it. Fucking 10, baby.
Nah, I think is that
Nice.
the first?
30s. We got
Is that our
dude.
first?
It's got to be our
Triple
first
10?
because he never agrees with us.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think one of them I screwed up. They looked at me like, really, you give Aliens a 9? So, yeah, so that's 3 10s. That's 3 10s from Beards of War. So, guys, listen, get in those comments. Tell us where you rank it. Tell us how you feel about it. Tell us which character you prefer. Do you like? Are you Team Wolverine? Are you Team Deadpool? Let's get some conversations going. If you saw it, or you want to add something, let us know, man. We're here to interact with you guys, and we have a lot of fun doing this as being 3 retired veterans and finding a new love. This is great. It's therapeutic for us. We love engaging with people. You know, we're all very friendly. We may not appear to be. Some of us are superheroes with bullets in our heads. But, we're approachable.
Best character, Deadpool 2.
Yeah, we drove around with this guy in the car, and the cop stopped us a couple of times, but we're cool. We explained it. He's all right. No, cops didn't stop us. But I'm just saying, this is how
Well, they
dedicated.
couldn't catch us. But.
This is how dedicated you get when you're retired, man. And we appreciate this man for doing this for us, man.
Literally taking a bullet
We
for the
love
team.
doing it, yeah.
Damn near.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the missus for hooking them up.
This is what disability looks like, everybody.
You get abs after you retire. Contrary to popular belief.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
work out while you're in.
Look
Wait
at
until
these
after.
abs, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Dude.
Look at these things.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
God
Better-
among men.
Better than Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well,
Right, yeah.
no, I'm lying, Hugh.
That's
I'm lying. Those
he's
is
gonna beat
lies.
the shit out of me now.
Them's is lies.
Yeah.
I can run faster for a moment.
And I think the clothes are going through that ab.
That flap is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's called fab.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this is. I think this is it.
I think this is
Our
it.
first. This is our first live. Our
Yeah.
first Beards of War live.
First live,
Here's
guys.
the Beards of the Round Table.
of the
We
Round
can't wait to
Table.
do it again, man.
That's great.
We enjoy this, man. This is just fun for us, and we hope it's fun for you guys too. Let us know what you think, and that's what I got, man. Sick Nick Fury, Beards of War.
Hey, Scorched Earth out, man. Check this movie out. Peace.
Fat Broken Rambo, go fucking see it. Let's go, fucking baby.